Good evening, everyone. You're watching Awaz News. I'm Kubra Ali, and I'll be taking you to top news across Canada. Brampton introduces residential rental licensing pilot program for 2024. Last house in Toronto Midtown neighborhood sells for more than $1 million over asking. Ontario judge greenlights class action against Bosch Health on cold effects products. 7-year-old boy sexually assaulted inside change room of Markham Community Centre police. Vehicles with hidden compartments were used to transport cocaine across provincial borders, police. Group of 3 kept major lottery win a secret from their family. Here is how the Blue Jays can clinch a playoff spot tonight. Those were the headlines, and now let's look into the details. The Toronto Blue Jays could clinch a playoff spot for second straight season as soon as tonight, but they will need a little help from the Seattle Mariners if they don't want their playoff fate hanging in the air heading into the final weekend of the MLB season. The Blue Jays 88-71 currently hold the second wildcard spot, but are only 2 games up on the Seattle Mariners 86-73, who would finish out of the playoffs if the season ended today. Here's a look at Toronto's path to the playoffs. The magic number right now is 2. This means that any combination of Blue Jays wins and Mariners losses that reaches or surpasses 2 will assure Toronto at least the third and final wildcard spot. So if the Jays beat the Tampa Bay Rays at the Rogers Center tonight and the Mariners lose to the Texas Rangers, the Jays would clinch a playoff spot. But if both the Jays and Mariners win, Toronto would still enter the weekend needing either a win or a Mariners loss to advance to the playoffs. The Blue Jays have their work cut out for them as they finish their season with a 3-game series against the 97-62 Rays. However, Tampa Bay may have less to play for after the Baltimore Orioles clinch the AL East title on Thursday. According to the latest projections from Fangraphs, the Blue Jays have a 93.1% chance of advancing to the playoffs and a 6.1% chance of winning the World Series. Those World Series odds may not sound encouraging, but only 7 teams in baseball have a better chance at winning it, all according to Fangraphs. An orphaned burgundy brick house sitting in the shadow of Midtown Toronto Tower, one of the area's last holdout properties, sold for more than $1 million over asking this month. The house at 93 Broadway Avenue was in the hands of same family for almost 50 years, and even as neighbors' houses were struck down like dominoes, the property at the southeast corner of Redpath stayed put. The now 86-year-old owner was initially approached by developers about a decade ago as the Midtown hub began to bustle with high-rise construction. But at the time, neighbors were offered more per square foot, and as principal person, the owner turned it down. Andrew Cutan, a real estate broker at Harvey Cowles Real Estate Limited, said about this client. They just decided to build around her, Katian said. The 2-story house became surrounded by a 29-story residential building. I can't imagine the vibrations and the dust and the sound and all the nonsense she dealt with during construction. Early this month, the time finally came to put the house on the market, with the upkeep and space becoming too much for the owner, Katian said. On September 6, it was listed for $1.49 million, and 2 weeks later it sold for $2.65 million with 8 offers on the table. The listing boasted the house as a holdout property beaming with endless possibilities, adding that current zoning for the 32 by 90 foot lot with a garage already allows for a detached house, semi-detached home, townhouse, duplex, triplex, fourplex, and an apartment building. Another option listed was turning the property into off-site parkland, since developers are required to spend 10% of their land value on park space. With a zoning bylaw amendment, Katian said the property could also swap over to commercial use for a professional office, retail, or restaurant space. In the end, an individual person with plans to renovate the property bought it. I don't know exactly what they're planning to do with it, but it's their property when it closes and they can do whatever they want with it, Katian said. An Ontario Superior Court judge has certified a class action lawsuit against Bosch Health companies that alleges false advertising for some of the pharmaceutical firm's cold remedies. The lawsuit states that Bosch, formerly known as Valent Pharmaceuticals, made false or misleading ad claims to consumers around 5 of its cold effects products. Filed in 2019, the suit notes that packaging and social media profiles for the products include statements such as clinically proven and proven by science to help reduce cold and flu symptoms. Toronto-based law firm TYR LLP says those claims form the basis of allegations that Bosch breached provincial consumer protection laws as well as Federal Competition Act and the Food and Drug Act. The class action includes anyone in Canada who bought one of the 5 Cold Effects products in the nearly 7 years between 2017 and this week. Bosch denies it has broken the law or made any false or deceptive statements linked to cold effects. The statement of defense elaborates on that stance. The defendants have never stated the cold effects products prevent and cure colds and flu. Rather, the cold effects products have been accurately and fairly advertised, labeled, and otherwise marketed as having a clinically proven formula or clinically proven ingredients to help to relieve symptoms by, amongst other things, boosting the immune system. It notes that Health Canada has approved cold effects products for sale as natural health products. Bosch is no stranger to the courthouse. In 2016, a British Columbia Supreme Court judge tossed a bid to launch a class action against Valiant over advertising that said cold effects offered immediate relief of cold and flu symptoms if taken over a 3-day period at the first sign of illness. The judge ruled the plaintiff failed to prove they're in an identifiable group of people with the same complaint but did not reject the basis of the man's claims. Bosch has struggled to overcome legal troubles for years while trying to distance itself from its toxic past. In 2019, the firm, once the largest Canadian company by market capitalization, announced a $1.21 billion US settlement over a separate class action filed by US securities holders over the same issue. Halton police have arrested 4 people and seized millions of dollars worth of cocaine following investigation into the alleged trafficking of drugs between Ontario and Western Canada. Police say that officers began an investigation into the operation sometime in summer. That investigation, dubbed Project Atlas, then led to the execution of 8 search warrants in the Toronto area on August 24th and 25th. Police say that a total of 126 kilograms of cocaine was seized as a result, as well as more than $1.2 million in Canadian currency and 3 vehicles. Images of those vehicles shared by police show multiple secret compartments where it is alleged that contraband was stashed. In one of the images, bags stuffed with $20 bills are seen in a compartment underneath the floor of the vehicle. In order to facilitate the movement of drugs and money, crime vehicles were equipped with sophisticated hydraulic trap systems, Deputy Sergeant Barrett Gabriel explained in a video update. Loads of drugs and money could then be transported covertly between destinations and were believed to be tracked using secreted GPS tracking devices. Gabriel said that the wholesale value of seized drugs is about $3.1 million, though he suggested that the street value of that amount of cocaine could exceed $10 million. He said that the months-long investigation is one of many recent examples that drug trafficking knows no jurisdictional boundaries. The 4 suspects taken into custody are facing a combined 13 charges, according to police. Police are appealing for information after a 7-year-old child was sexually assaulted inside the change room of Markham Community Center earlier this week. It happened at Markham Pan Am Center at around 6:30 p.m. on September 26th. Police said that the child was inside the male change room when he was approached by 2 teenage suspects, one of whom touched him in a sexual manner as he exited the washroom. Police said that the boy immediately reported the incident after it took place. The suspects, however, have not yet been apprehended. Police have released a brief description of one of the suspects and are asking anyone with the information about his identity to come forward. He's described as a tall, white teenager with short black hair in a mohawk style. Police say that he was last seen wearing a black t-shirt, black shorts with white stripes, and black Puma slides with white lettering. 3 family members recently scored a major lottery prize and kept their win a secret from the rest of their loved ones. Kongli, Wong Tran, and Ha Trin regularly play their lottery together and were in disbelief when they learned they won $1 million after matching all 7 encore numbers on July 26 Lotto's 649 draw. I checked our ticket on the OLG app and found out we won. I scanned it out 20 times before believing it. Then I called the other group members, Wong told the OLG Price Center as the group picked up their earnings. That was the best phone call ever I got, Trent said. I was so happy. That was the best day of my life, Lee added. After they learned they won, the group decided to hold off on sharing the news. We never told anyone because we wanted to surprise our family when we had the money in our hand, Tran explained. As for what the group will do with the money, they said they currently don't have any major plans as they let their win sink in. Today, the City of Brampton has announced the commencement of the Residential Rental Licensing RRL pilot program set to begin on January 1st, 2024. This 2-year initiative will require landlords of residential rental units in wards 1, 3, 5, 4, and 7 to obtain licenses aligning them with other businesses. The program received unanimous approval from the Committee of Council on September 20th, 2023. The RRL pilot program aims to target both registered and unregistered rental units, especially those with repeated violations. The primary objectives are to ensure landlords adhere to all legal requirements, rental units are safe for tenants, property standards are maintained, and fire code regulations are enforced. Properties will undergo random inspections, and landlords with repeated violations will face escalating fines. Councillor Santos voiced concerns about the increasing pressure from federal and provincial governments to implement additional rental units (ARUs) as a solution to the national housing crisis. Brampton has seen a rise in both legal and illegal conversions of homes to accommodate ARUs. Santos emphasized landlords of the residential units have been operating like businesses with minimal accountability. She believes that through this licensing program, the city can monitor enforcement costs and violations related to ARUs more effectively. Furthermore, Councillor Santos highlighted the need for support from higher levels of government, especially when it comes to infrastructure needs. She stated, if provincial and federal governments mandate municipalities to accommodate ARUs, they should also provide the necessary resources. As the program gathers data, the city plans to advocate for a residential landlord tax or a municipal cost recovery fee concerning ARUs. Santos intends to share insights from this pilot program with fellow municipalities and advocate in her capacity as a board member of the Federation of Canadian Municipalities (FCM). The pioneering landlord licensing model will undergo a public outreach plan to gather feedback on the RRL pilot program. A dedicated task force, including Councillor Santos, Councillor Keenan, and Councillor Power, will be established to enhance the program's implementation. The City of Brampton remains dedicated to offering safe and affordable housing solutions to address the ongoing housing crisis, with the RRL pilot program marking a significant step in this direction. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.